Welcome back to Miniature Cockapoo. In today's video, I'm going to be going through the essentials that you need to take with you when going to pick up your dog. Yeah. So first up, congratulations, because if you're watching this video, it most likely means that you're going to pick up a dog or puppy soon, and it doesn't matter whether you're going to pick them up from a breeder or a rescue centre. These are just the essentials that I think you need if you're going to pick them up. In this video, I'll be covering things that you need for if your journey is under an hour and over an hour. I picked Millie up 7 months ago now, and I definitely overpacked, like I do for everything. So I'm hoping by doing this video, it'll help some of you not have to take as much unnecessary stuff as what I did. So I've really tried to narrow it down and focus on stuff that you will actually need. But even then, there are some things that you'll take with you and you might not necessarily use, but you're better off having them just in case, because each dog's different and you don't know how they're going to react in a car journey. The first thing is to make sure you speak to either the rescue centre or your breeder and find out what they are giving you. And some of the things listed in here, they might give you, so then you're going to end up being doubled up and there's no point in you taking all of that stuff. So I will point out the bits that my breeder gave me as and when I get to them. So just double check with your breeder or rescue centre what they're giving you when you go to pick up your pup. The first thing you'll want is a scent blanket. So this is Millie's, and our breeder gave us this when I went and picked her up. And at the time, it had the scent of her litter and her mum on it. This is good to comfort them for the journey home because it gives them some familiar scents and helps them not be as scared. But you'll also use this later on in crate training or when they're sleeping at night, no matter if you're not crate training or not, just to help them feel more at home and relaxed. I have since washed this. I think I washed it like 2 days after she came home because it stunk and it didn't really seem to be making any difference. Like she wasn't really snuggling up to it, but some dogs will. But now she just likes having it in her bed at night. So I don't think she'd even notice if I took it away, to be honest with you. If your breeder doesn't give you a scent blanket, then I recommend getting a little baby blanket. I think that's all this is. It's probably like the size of a tea towel. Like it's about A3 size. Taking that with you when you go to pick up the dog, and then you rubbing the blanket over the mum and any litter mates that are left so that you've got your own scent blanket. Alternatively, if you know that they're not going to give you one but you're going to see the pup before you pick them up, then take the blanket then and get the smell on the blanket at that point. So when you go to pick them up, it's had a bit longer there to really fester in the smell of the other dogs. Like I said, this absolutely reeked. Just so you know, if you're wanting any of the items that I mentioned, I will link them below in the description or similar things. So I'll try and find a blanket that's about the same size as the scent blanket in case you need to buy your own. The next thing is a bigger blanket. So God knows how big this is. It's big. But I just got it on Amazon. And I recommend getting one of these so that you can cover yourself and any chairs, and some dogs like being wrapped in towels as well. There's a couple of reasons for this. So if they like being wrapped, it's a bit more comforting for them, and then you'll have the scent blanket there to like try and comfort them as well. But it's mainly to protect you. So on the journey home, most people choose to have the pup sit on their lap. The blanket will cover you because you don't know if they're going to have an accident or get travel sick. So it's mainly just to protect you and your furniture. In relation to if you don't know if they're going to have an accident or not, if you're going for over an hour, then you definitely need this because chances are you'll have to have stops. Even under an hour, I'd still take it with me just to clear up any messes in case they are sick, because there's nothing worse than like the smell in the car after they're being sick. So I'd make sure you take with you a decent cleaner. So this is the one that I use. And I swear by it. It's absolutely amazing. I've used, this might be my 4th bottle now, and I take it everywhere with me, especially when she was a young pup. So if you didn't know if she was going to have accidents. Now I mainly use it if she's being sick, because Millie is quite a sicky dog. She gets overexcited and makes herself sick. Or if I've spilt something. It's great at getting coffee stains out. So I definitely recommend this. And then also some kitchen roll with you. And then in the same vein, also some grooming wipes. So I'm getting ready for some more. But they're just some wipes that are natural for the dog. So that if they have an accident and they've got any sick or anything on themselves, you've got something to clean them up. And they're also good for when they get a bit older to like wipe down the paws if they've been out anywhere. A good cleaner and some wipes just in case. Chances are under an hour you're not going to use them, but better off to have them. Next on my list is an essential that if you're a dog owner, you will get used to having these in abundance everywhere. And they are poo bags. So these are the ones that Millie is currently got. I bulk buy them because it is cheaper to bulk buy them. And then they come in small rolls so you can fill up your little holders on your lead. And I've got them in my car, in different handbags, dotted around the house. I left some at my mum's. But you need to make sure that you've always got some on you because it is a legal requirement in the UK. But these do come in handy as well. So if the dog's been sick, you can use them like a nappy sack and put all like the sick wipes in there. And yeah, it's easier to pick up the sick. So take some poo bags with you. Most breeders will also give you some poo bags, but I'd always take some extra just to be on the safe side. The next thing on my list is a towel. So this is just a microfiber towel, but you can pretty much use any towels, but this does dry out quicker than a normal towel. And this is more for if they have had an accident, then you've got a spare option other than the blanket if that's completely ruined. But again, you probably don't need this if you're driving for under an hour. If you're thinking, this is a lot of stuff, Jasmine, trust me, this pile's a lot less than what I took with me on the day. Next thing on my list is a variety of toys of different textures. Our breeder did give us one, so that yours might as well, but I'd still take a couple. I've only got 2 of the toys that I took with me, because the rest have all been destroyed. I feel like she's definitely a chewer. So this is the one from the breeder. And I believe it's from Pets at Home, and it's got like a teething ring and then a little squeaky top bit. Sorry if any of your dogs have just barked. Millie doesn't like these type of toys, so she had this with her, and ever since she's just not interested at all. She's not a fan of the rubber ring bit. She'll chew this part, but that's about it. And the next one is also another one from Pets at Home. It's a bit more robust, so it still survived. And it was like this little bumblebee, and it squeaks again. You can hear that. And it's a lot harder for them to chew, so especially when they're teething, this is good. I also took a rope toy with me, the specific one that I've had. She's had 2 of now and destroyed. But yeah, this one's just from Amazon. And then the other thing I took with me was a Nylabone. So this is one for an adult pup now. But it's a flavoured chew bone, but it's not real bone. And she had one which was a dinosaur. So in terms of toys, maybe 2 or 3 different ones and a chew thing just to distract them on the journey. You don't know what they're going to be like on the cart. On our journey home, Millie was quite restless. She wouldn't really settle down. And when she did, it would be for a couple of minutes and then she'd move around again. So she was wanting the toys as like a way of distracting her. And because she was anxious, she was chewing on them. So definitely take a couple of toys. But it's completely normal as well if they're not interested in them and they just want to sleep. The next thing on my list, I've not got with me to show you, but it's a seatbelt. In the UK, it's a legal requirement for dogs to be restrained in the car. However, on the first journey home, most people choose for the dogs to sit on the lap because it's less nerve-wracking for them. But I still put Millie on the seatbelt, so she was sat on my lap with the seatbelt on the loosest setting, and then I put the collar on that our breeder gave to us. So our breeder got her this little set, so there's this little tiny little collar, and then a little lead. So it's not very long at all. I only used these for the first 2 weeks when she couldn't go out for walks. Mainly because the collar I didn't think was very secure, because it is quite a flimsy collar. But for in the car, it fit her perfectly at the time. And it meant she was still strapped in, just in case we ever got into an accident. So this is something that's worth checking with your breeder to see if they're giving you one. If they're not, then ask them to measure the dog's neck so that you know how big they're going to be. Or go for the puppy section of collars and get the smallest one that you possibly can. Don't bother with a harness. So the next two things are more for if you are driving for over an hour and if you are stopping at one of the meal times. So the first one is a portable water bottle. I've forgotten to bring mine up the stairs here with me. You fill the bottom half with water and then the top half is a dish. I will link it below and I'll put up a picture of what it looks like. If you're driving for over an hour, your pup's going to need a drink, so you're going to need it with you. And then if your journey is over an hour or over a meal time and you know you're going to have to stop for them, then a little food bowl. Again, this was something that my breed gave to me. In terms of food, your breeder should give you some of the food that they were on, so you haven't got to bother taking any with you unless they've told you that you're not going to get any. In that case, buy a small packet of what they were on at the breeders and use that, and then you can see if they do like it or not, or if you want to change them. You haven't wasted a lot of money on a big bag. I have briefly mentioned it, but in relation to Millie's journey home, she was pretty calm but anxious, so she kept moving around everywhere. She was on my lap, but she wasn't sick. She didn't have any accidents, and she was good for her first journey in a car. She'd done well. In terms of being a single dog owner, I took my mum with me, so she drove the car back home so that Millie could be on me and bond with me in the car. And I think it's important that you try and do that, because the people that they see initially are the ones that they have the closest bond with, I found. In terms of pickup times, ideally arrange to pick them up as early as possible in the day. This means you then have a full day with them at home for them to get used to the new settings and hopefully settle in quicker and not have such a bad night. Whereas if you don't pick them up until 5 o'clock, then you've got a couple hour journey home, they're going to be very restless and they're not going to have time to get used to the new environment. Whereas if we picked Millie up at 9:30, we were home for 10:30, so it meant we got all day to get to know each other, start crate training and getting used to that environment without her actually getting locked in, and toilet training as well. So we had a full day of bonding before the night, and I think even though it was a pretty restless night, she was better because of it and she knew she could trust me. You may notice the one thing I haven't mentioned that you would expect me to mention are treats. I would avoid giving your pup any treats on the way home, because they're going to be nervous and anxious, and at that age have quite sensitive stomachs, so you don't know how they're going to react to new treats. So I would avoid giving them any food in the car, other than if you have to stop at a meal time and then they're getting the normal food. Don't give them any treats until you get home, just to see how they react to them, and then stick to one and then gradually introduce more to make sure that they are okay with them. I hope this video helps you if you're getting a new pup. If you brought your dog home in the past and you think there's anything I've forgotten in this list, then please let us all know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, then please make sure you like it and subscribe if you don't already, and then turn on the bell notification so you'll be notified of a new video from us. And then go and follow us over on Instagram at Miniature Cockapoo, where I give daily updates. Thank you for watching. Bye! That you need when you... In today's video, I'm going to be going through the essential... Oh, pins and needles again. This is why I don't sit down here that often. If you're wondering why Millie isn't in videos, this is what she does 90% of the time while I'm filming.